Right, so we're back at the Volkswagen team, and one of the things I wanted to talk about is a droop. Have a look at this car's up on the jacks now. Have a look at the angle of the wheel and the amount of positive camber that it's got. When they drop this thing down onto the ground, the wheel's going to come up. So it's got massive camber gain as it goes through the arc. Gary, we're going to go and have a look at the right-hand back wheel over here now. And when they drop it, to give you an idea of the travel that this thing's got, that top of the wheel is going to go to about the top of the mudguard. So from there to there, that is the amount of bump travel that it's got. It is massive. And we see this as they go over some of the jumps in WRX. It's like phenomenal. Okay. We can go and try and have a look at one of the other cars over here, Gary. This is PetterSolberg's car, and we just walked in and we didn't even ask him. So look how nice and shiny, everything is all nice and clean, with the long damper and the reservoir as well. Now, one of the things that it's also got, if you can come and have a look here, you see the little spring here? That's a little tender spring. The yellow spring is the spring that carries the main weight of the car. So the idea being is, as the car flies through the air and it starts to land, the first part of the travel, this part here, is all on damper. So it's damping as it goes down before the main spring that supports the car, that holds it up, it takes effect. The rear anti-roll bar, and we can see that because it's closest to the fulcrum, or the point that it turns around here, it's set on full stiff. So it's at its hardest setting over there. And again here you can see with the camera angle is not so lacquer, but leave it there, Gary. The wheel's in positive camber, which means that the top is sitting further. You can see here, Gary, it's sitting like this, and when it goes down, it'll move through and it'll gain camber as it comes up here. That's actually quite an interesting thing that we can see here. This here is the actual strut tube, and that tube slides down through a seal over here. And all the working bits and pieces of the damper, they actually sit up here. It's an upside down shock absorber. So there's the thin shaft over there. So that's just a tiny little tender. And that spring is designed merely to keep all of that in place. So there we go, chaps. That's our little... Oh, and the other cool thing, in order to level the jacks, put a little thing on it. You've got to love the... They've thought of all the little bits and pieces here, Gary. Again, we know that from some of the things that we've spoken about on the aerodynamics, it's the air that follows the longest point of the longest path that actually makes the downforce. So you put the mounting at the top where it doesn't really matter. You want the air underneath here as it comes across here. This is the part that actually really works. So as the air comes through here, the temperature, the pressure gets lower, and we know from science, kids, that the higher the speed, the lower the pressure, and everything is relative. And if you've got low pressure here, then it gets pushed down. So that then is our little quick barge through the pits.